Alright, time for my first real video for my second channel. So other than the fact that I haven't been able to get into my original fish channel for around 1 to 2 weeks, the real main reason why I haven't uploaded is because me and my family unfortunately came down with the flu and it more or less knocked us out for 1 to 2 weeks. We're still fighting it off, but we're feeling a lot better now. But within those 1 to 2 weeks, my fish have been doing just fine. Also, a lot did happen also, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So first off is Blake and Son and their second generation fry. As you can tell, they're slowly starting to look like angelfish. It's still going to be a few more weeks before they properly look like angelfish and I can move them out to their grow out tank. So my 3 gallon, as you can tell, is also doing just fine. My little guppy, I've managed to actually grow out my guppy, my little baby guppy and whatever it's called. Unfortunately, I also do not have the guppy that this one came from. I just woke up one day and saw it dead on the bottom. I have no idea what killed it, and what sucks is everyone else is doing just fine. As you also can tell, I added in 2 of Blake and Son's original fry into this tank. This is only temporary though, just enough to give this tank a little bit more life. They're going to be in here for about another 1 to 2 months, just enough to give this tank a little extra life. And then I'm going to move them into their more proper tank. But for right now, I just want to give this tank a little bit more extra life because it's literally right next to where I game and web browse and whatnot, and I look at the right all the time, and I see this tank all the time, and then this tank. So I want to fill the tank that I see for the most part with a lot more life than this one because it is more of my fry tank. So also, my little flower horn is also doing just fine. He's going to be getting a new tank, hopefully by the end of the week, depending on how my father feels about getting this stuff. And my big guy's also doing just fine. He still hates cameras in his face, of course. So this is the tank that my little flower horn is going to be getting. This is a 20 long. This originally had my goldfish inside it. But I had a mishap to where about a gallon or so of water leaked out of one of the hang on the back filters, damaging the hutch this tank was sitting on, and we pretty much just agreed to not have any more tanks on that hutch. So I had to rehome my goldfish. I had to rehome my female flower horn because I was also on that hutch, and I really couldn't rehome her or put her into one of my other tanks because I don't got any more room for her. And I also had to get rid of worthless and useless because I had to have their tank for fry grow out purposes and whatnot. But though what I'm actually planning on doing is I'm planning on giving them a 20 tall, that way so they can have more room to grow in. But that's not what I really want to do. I'll talk about what I really want to do with the fry tank in a little bit. But what I gotta do is I gotta get 3 more cinder blocks. I already have 3 right now. This is one of them. And I just got to basically stack 3 on the bottom, then stack the other 3 on top of that. Get another piece of wood cut so I can have something to place the tank on. And then the tank will be more or less level. Then the top of the tank will be about where this is right here. It'll make water changing and viewing the tank a lot more funner for me. Especially water changing, because if I do a water change of the tank on the ground like this, it's a pain in the butt because I gotta plug in a water pump and everything else. It's a chore if I have to plug in a stupid water pump and everything else. I just want to just use the gravel vac, stick it into the tank, squish the little squeezer thing a few times, and just take water out that way. And hopefully by the end of the week I'll have this tank all set up in my little guy in there. And then what I'm going to do with this tank is there's going to be either 2 things. I'm going to shut this tank down completely, and then more or less move this tank off here and then use this table as a table for my computer. That way so I can place my computer on top of here and then also have a secondary monitor so I can have 2 monitors running at once. and whatnot. So that's idea number one. Idea number two for this tank, if I keep getting fry after fry batch after fry batch, keep this tank up. That way, so I can have another tank to grow out more, to grow more angelfish fry in. But then again, it depends on if the other plan I'm hoping on doing comes to fruition. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So yeah. And of course, the bathroom tank is also doing just fine. There's one of my little randoms. And there's old Hi-Tet. As you can tell, he's doing just fine, though my camera refuses to autofocus properly onto him. But his fins are regrowing finally. And he's doing just fine. Oh yeah, and speaking of never touching a tank, this is one of those tanks where I talk about actually comes to fruition and whatnot. I haven't done a water change in this tank in over a month, and the only thing I've noticed is algae. All the fish are doing just fine and everything else. But I am going to do a water change to about here or so. That way, so I can have enough water left out. That way, so I can get in here and clean off all the algae and whatnot. But this tank's doing great, and like I said, I haven't touched this tank in over a month. Alright, so here is my 29. As you can tell, everyone's more or less doing just fine, though it is still incredibly cramped. I do know that for a fact that this tank is pretty overstocked, but I luckily have enough filtration in this tank to help with the stocking problem. But as you can tell, everyone's more or less doing just fine, and I got a new face. This is my newest angelfish. This is from Worlds Underwater. When it comes to angelfish, I find that they have the best. As you can tell, this one's a beauty. Just a beautiful veil. And I think this one and this one may have paired up. Or it might be this one and this one that paired up. I don't know which one yet because I see one of these two veils next to this one whenever it's down there. But let's see. I have Papa's plants in here for filtration and also temporary that until I can get the tank lids for them figured out. But they're also doing filtration. As you can tell though, this Papa's plant kind of looks bad. And that's because these little boogers have been eating them. So some of these Papa's plants are growing just fine. And then there's ones like this one and this one in the back that have more or less been eaten by these little carnivores. Or I forget what it's called, but they're jerkfish. They need to stop eating their filter system. Oh yeah, and I forgot to also mention I made this here. That way, so whenever I go to Walmart again, I can just grab a pot of Papa's plant, break apart the Papa's plants, and then just place them all in these little gaps, and have a heap ton of filtration here. And then what I'm planning on doing is taking this light I made initially for the goldfish tank, and more or less either just cut it right here and mount it to the tank, or I'm going to figure out some type of mounting system. I'm probably actually just going to mount it here and here, and I'm just going to spread the light just like this. I already have an idea how I'm going to do the mounting system, but for right now I'm not going to worry about it because I got to get the Papa's plants first. But I'm going to have this light on top of the Papa's plants to help with growth. That way so I can have major root growth in here and have major filtration going. Because that's how I had it in quite a few of my tanks, and I could just leave them alone for months on end with the Papa's plants I had in there. So yeah. And of course this is the fry grow out tank. This is the 10 gallon. As you can tell, I have quite a few if I can get them all to come to the front. Now you gotta notice me first. As you can tell, this is quite a few. The little small ones are worthless and useless fry, and the big guys are Blake & Sons first generation. So I got quite a mixed bag of fry in here. So, that's pretty much this tank here. It has one sponge filter and one filter here that's designed for a 15-gallon. And that's pretty much this tank here. So, on to what I really want to do with this tank. What I want to do is I want to take that 29 that has all those fish in it and place it here. But in doing so, I'll also have a 40 breeder. What will happen is that all those fish in the 29-gallon will get the 40 breeder. That way, so I'm going to have more room to swim, more room to grow, and just a bigger tank overall. And then I can take that 29-gallon that they're currently in and give it all to my fry. That way, so I can have a nice big tank to properly grow out all my fry, and then eventually get them to worlds underwater or whatever and make some money off these guys. Because I'm not going to keep these fry forever, because I do plan on eventually selling them off, because there's no way in heck I can properly house all these beautiful fry by myself. Especially considering I'm trying to shut down tanks and make life a little bit more easier on me. More or less all the tanks I have right now are the ones I want to keep up and running for the foreseeable future. And of course there's two of them right there. And there's the brine shrimp hatchery and whatnot, my dubstep gun. I got a Bill Kazai's hurt. I also got a Bill Kazai dubstep gun. So yeah. That's pretty much it for this video. I'm hoping to, if I can't get a 40 breeder, I'll easily go for a 20 tall, because even a 20 tall will be more than enough height to properly grow these guys out to like this tall maybe or so. Something that's bigger than what they already are. Something around like this big where you can get over like Petco or PetSmart, something like this big maybe. Of course, I'm measuring from the very bottom of their fins to the very top, not the body mass. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I forgot to also mention one more thing. I got myself an actual DSLR, and I'm planning on using this hopefully soon as the camera I use to record my videos. The reason why I'm not using this yet is due to the fact that the SD card I have in here, its write speeds are too slow. So basically I can record for about 7 seconds before I reach the buffer limit on the DSLR, and it more or less just stops the recording because it can't write all the data to the SD card. So until I can get myself a nice high-speed SD card, for right now I'm going to be using my phone. But I'm hoping soon I'll be able to swap over to this thing and actually have better image quality. I don't know how well it will sound, but I know the image quality is going to be a lot more superior than my current LG G5. And also I will be able to manually or automatically focus whenever I'm recording my videos. Now, of course, I don't know how noisy the videos are going to get with this camera, because this lens is quite noisy. But who knows? But even though I can't take videos with this thing, I can still take good pictures. And that's more or less what I've been doing. And this right here is one of the pictures I took today of my cat Patty. I did all manual, and this is what I got. It's a very beautiful picture of my dum-dum cat. But yeah, it kind of goes to show what I can do with this DSLR. And of course, this right here. Actually, give me a second. Well, my phone camera really doesn't show how good of a picture this is, but this is the night sky. This is about a 5-second exposure. Right here is Orion, and this star cluster right here is the winter triangle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post these to like Imager or something, or Instagram, and link them and put a link to these pictures in the description below, so you can kind of get an idea what this camera is capable of doing when you're just a simple nooblet like me. Then again, I did take a photo photography class in high school. But then again, I hardly remember anything from there. But taking pictures and whatnot, it kind of comes naturally to me. So getting this DSLR is a massive upgrade for me because normally I'm using my cell phone like I am right now. But with this thing, I can take some real good pictures. Even though, like I said, I'm a complete nooblet. But with that said, that's pretty much it for this video. Sorry again for this video being so long. I try to make them short, but unfortunately I can't because I stumble a lot and I get sidetracked, as you can tell. But since I'm not monetizing my videos, it really doesn't matter. And like I said, I don't plan on monetizing them anytime soon because they're garbage. And yet, like I said, for some reason or another, some people like watching my videos. My question is, how long do they actually stand my videos before they just leave? If they watch even 5 minutes, I'm amazed. But, Okay, I'm going to end the video here.